Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live. I want to welcome in my good friend Brian Passink, the color commentator for the Alabama men's basketball team. Talk a little hoops right here in the middle of football season. Brian, how's it going tonight?
Doing great, Luke. How are you?
Oh, doing good, man. They put a good picture up on you on the graphic. I don't know if you can see it, but a great picture of you and Maggie right there. I dig it. Good work, Justin, our producer in the back.
I need to see that. I'm not by TV. I mean, obviously, I think at the Crimson Tide Sports Network, they do me a disservice hiding me on the radio. Obviously, a face for TV, so I'm glad you're showing it.
As you said earlier, we needed a ratings boost tonight, so we called you up. Alabama has had a pretty good week in hoops. They've gotten 3 big commitments, one from Galen Smith, a big man out of the Mississippi area, Herb Jones, a kid from the Moundville area who is a really great scorer. I think he played for Sunshine before that school went away. And then Alex Reese from Pelham, who is one of the top 100 players in the country. In fact, so is Herb Jones. What can you tell us about these 3 guys, and how do you foresee them helping the Crimson Tide next season?
Well, it's such a key for Avery Johnson and what he's trying to do at Alabama, and that is, I mean, it seems obvious, but easier said than done, and that is get the top talent. I mean, ask Nick Saban what one of his priorities is, and that is recruit, get really good players, and that's something that Alabama has needed to do. I think that the class that's coming in this year that's now eligible, along with some transfers that are eligible, upgrades the talent. Now, you got to continue to do that through recruiting, and it sounds like that is exactly what's going on with the commitments, with guys that are still out there that Alabama is heavily involved in, and that is upgrade the talent. And the recipe for success at Alabama, whether it was under Wimp Sanderson or Mark Godfrey when he was having success at Bama, and that is to really do a great job in state, go to Georgia, maybe the Atlanta area or Mississippi, and get players. And so far, that's what Avery and his staff have been able to do. And the players that they still have on the board that are going to be coming in, I think will upgrade the talent. Now, Avery Johnson, the former NBA Coach of the Year, has proven that he can X and O as well as anybody in the country, and that goes for college basketball. That goes for the NBA. Now, in the NBA, you're not recruiting; you're trying to bring in talent through different avenues. But Avery Johnson has proven that he can coach, he can X and O. I saw it firsthand last year from a talent standpoint, not the best in the SEC, not an upper tier SEC roster in terms of talent. But once he gets his talent in that he wants, look out, sky's the limit. And that is what I see for the future of Alabama basketball.
Of course, Alabama's waiting on a couple other guys, namely Colin Sexton, the fabulous point guard out of the Georgia area, and then John Petty, a guy that I've had the pleasure of calling a couple of times. He's absolutely incredible, one of the best players I've ever called when they played the finals in Birmingham. So those guys will be committing sometime in November, I believe, in Alabama, crossing their fingers there. You know, you bring up Avery Johnson, and it's got to be so much more fun for you to interview a guy like him. I know you can't necessarily go into much depth about Anthony Grant and the interviews you gave with him, but it seems like it would be a night and day scenario for somebody like you to get to talk to Avery Johnson at different times of the year, get to talk to him at halftime of the games.
Yeah, totally different in so many areas from Anthony Grant, and it is a ton of fun to talk to Avery, to watch the way he interacts with his players, and you've seen him. I mean, you've seen him with fans, with media. You know, to watch the way he promotes his program through really not just traditional avenues, but trying to do things different and go out to meet students, to sorority and fraternity houses, to do the schedule unveiling that's never, to my knowledge, it's never been done in college basketball. To have the thousands of people watching online, standing room only, during that unveiling. I know you were there at the Grand Bohemian in Birmingham. just such a great event. And to watch the way that he promotes this program, you can't help but like him. And he's doing a great job in so many different areas. But I think as an Alabama basketball coach, it's important, first of all, to win. You got to win. You got to get great players. Got to coach them. You got to have success on the court. There's no question. That's number one. But in a football crazy state, you got to get attention of your fans, of basketball fans, of sports fans. That's one thing that Wimp Sanderson did, as well as anybody in the country with his plaid jacket and understanding the importance of promoting your program. Now, Avery doesn't have a plaid jacket. He doesn't do it in the way that Coach Sanderson did, but they have the same mindset, and that is get people excited about your program. Get out and promote your program. And it's one of the reasons that last year we saw the top attendance figures in the history of Alabama basketball with a team that was projected to be 13th out of 14 teams in the SEC. Alabama set an all-time attendance record, and that was due to the excitement that Avery Johnson has helped create for this program. So for me, as a former player and someone who loves this program, I'm really excited about what's going on because I think we're going to win, and we're going to win big. But also, it's going to be a whole lot of fun to watch with the style of play and just the overall energy around this program.
You inadvertently just came up with a fantastic promotion for Avery Johnson. If he doesn't wear a plaid jacket just one time this year, I'm now going to be disappointed.
I think he'd look good in it.
I do. I think I don't know if he'd look good in it, but I think it'd be really cool, and I think it'd draw some attention. Finally, the schedule this year is incredibly arduous. It's going to be very difficult to go to some of these places like Texas. They go to Vegas and play some great teams. They got Clemson coming into Birmingham. What are your thoughts on this schedule on the whole?
Well, it's difficult, but it's exciting to play some of the teams that you mentioned. To get a home and home with Texas, to return the trip to Oregon, looking forward to going out to Eugene. But there's some big games at home, and there's some excitement that this team is going to experience in the non-conference in the state of Alabama. Now, going to Huntsville is so smart. It's exciting for the fans in North Alabama, but so smart for a lot of reasons. There's some really good players in the Huntsville area, in case you haven't heard. But so I love Alabama going to Huntsville in the non-conference in December when students aren't in session. Also playing Clemson in Birmingham. I would expect a sellout or close to it at the BJCC. We had that last year against Oregon. And then a big game, kind of a under-the-radar game for maybe people that don't follow college basketball as closely this time of year, and that's Dayton coming to Tuscaloosa to play Alabama in Coleman Coliseum. I think it's a noon or 1 o'clock tip on a weekday, which may sound strange, but what ESPN has done, and I think it's a great idea, has started the tip-off marathon to really get college basketball going and put a focus on college hoops beginning. And so Alabama played Dayton in a mid-afternoon, early afternoon game in Tuscaloosa. It's right around lunchtime, and that's a big game against one of the powers out of the Atlantic 10, one of the programs in college basketball that may not have the name recognition from a Power 5 conference standpoint, but is not only in the NCAA tournament each and every year, but usually you see in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8, and has been knocking on the door of a Final Four. So a great opponent in Tuscaloosa coming in November.
Can't wait for it to get started, Brian, and I know you can't either. Thanks so much for being with us tonight, buddy.
All right. Thanks a lot, Luke. Enjoyed it.